Hey guys, it's me T coming at you with a reading for today, but also it's kind of a reading, like I said, it's a reading for basically 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's like where I am right now. And so it's 3 o'clock. So basically this reading is from 3 o'clock today on into tomorrow, 3 o'clock p.m. All right? That's what we doing today and for the rest of the time until I'm told differently. But I feel, I really love the progression of shit. Like, I really do. Because, like, I love, not being able to fucking handle shit so that it can change, and then being observant to how it changes. Like, I really love it, because I would have never come up with this on my own until I was like, alright, it's not working, like, with how I, you know, even flow for my day. So the whole thing is, it's kind of like, you know, this made it a lot easier for me to just be a little ahead of the game, which I always love to do. And also really kind of pay attention to the now and the future, which is really important to me. So, alright, so highest and best. I'm already getting a little sleepy, so that just like hit me. I don't know if that's like just a fucking relaxation tactic that spirit has, but I guess they're here. I guess they're here. But also, today I'm dealing with, it's going to be more of a mediumship card reading. I'm hanging with the Talking to Heaven card deck by James Van Praagh. I fucking love this card deck. And yeah, we're just pulling 2 cards of the yin and the yang, okay, out of this card deck. So highest and best yang card. All right, let's go for another one, because I feel like I like the ones that, whoa! Whoa! Hold on. They all fell. They all fell like a, friggin' party. All right, hold on one second. I actually sense party vibes, which is interesting. But the moon is in Scorpio, so which is like perfect for, because Scorpios are like party vibes for real. But I also feel like there's the yin card. But I also feel like, and there's the yin card. I also feel like it's kind of like a bit like dead-like. Like, I feel like it's a bit, you know, because the Scorpios also rule death. Like, their sign rules death. And so I feel like it's kind of like, Spirit's saying deadly, but like not in a negative way. Like, that was more funny coming through. But it was more so like, I feel like it's just like, I don't know, like just, it's tiring because something's maybe coming to an end, or, because this is how I can put it. You know how like the elderly, like if we're going to talk about natural progression of life, like, you know how they get like tired towards the end of their life, like they get slow. Like, I feel like that's what's going on. That's what I feel about the energies today. It's like an elderly party. I don't know how else to describe it. Okay, so the yin card basically, you know, for today and going into tomorrow, if there's a flow there, but basically for today, it says, if I had only known then what I know now, I would have lived differently. I'm telling you, that's somebody, like, I feel like that's somebody's life as they knew it dying out. And actually are going to become, like, they're going to start living their life differently now that they know, okay? Because I feel like there is ancestors from the other side pushing you to live differently, because they know what it feels like to not live as if I mean, listen, everything happens for a reason, but, you know, a lot of dreams die out with people who don't believe, right? And you might be the end of your, like the most recent, or towards the most recent end of your lineage, like, which is basically the beginning, the fresh aspect of your lineage. And I shouldn't say end, I should say, I don't know, like the most recent, but also the most protruding. I don't know how to like say it, but like you're the most freshest, right, vibe out of your lineage. For those of you that are watching. So it's kind of like the angels sent you here to live your life out the way that you need to live it. It's very interesting. Just as a side note, I had done a mediumship reading to somebody randomly, and it was such a cool ass story. I'm not going to go into it now, but that message that I just shared right now in terms of like your ancestors making sure that you're living your life through like your dreams is super like it's so big coming out of me. It's like one of my gifts. I feel like when I'm a medium, it's I am the person that eggs the other person on in terms of who's getting the reading to go live their life the way that they were kind of like getting an inkling of doing it, right? And that requires game changing, and that's why I call myself a game changer. But not only in other people's world, I do it in my own world, so I'm allowed to talk about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the one that's like, oh yeah, just go do it. Like that. I'm telling you, like, go do it. It may not be easy, but you're doing it, and that's the most important. And I need to hear those words too, you know. So, and this is also what's coming through here is also accepting that you just live differently from those that you are surrounded by right now, or you just live differently than maybe what society has told you in terms of how to live by, right? Because something, I feel like up until now, something isn't clicking, something isn't fucking, it's just not, it's just not meshing well with how you are. And what's so interesting, oh my god, this is so wild, as I'm seeing the bottom of the deck, which is more so your inner midway happy way, there's a unicorn on it. So I feel like I'm talking to the unicorns that basically realize that they are unicorns because shit's not working out in their life for some sort of fucking reason. And it's been happening for a very long time. And I think that's why this is a part of us being tired today. Is like, we're gonna push, we're gonna keep it moving, we're gonna keep motivated, but we're tired, right? We're tired of the search, we're tired of the longing, we're tired of the yearning, we're tired of the things not working out, we're tired of the rejection, we're tired of like things just like having to be so much more like advanced than the normal person would be living their life, who's okay with the 9-to-5 job and getting paid, you know, just simply put, and just staying simply put, when really we're not only unicorns, but we're fucking wild and free unicorns. So that's why shit isn't fitting. Like, we try to make things work, but we know where things are not gonna work, you know what I'm saying, if we take it up as a commitment. So like then we're like a fucking disappointment because things don't work out. It's just it's a fucking mess, you know what I'm saying? I just want to read this card for a second. The midway happy way, on the interior it says, as a soul, the one that has the unicorn on it, it says, as a soul I can be in several places at once. That's exactly what the fuck it is. We've been fucking, like, really, like, what's the saying? Like, when you're not cutting yourself short, but, like, when you're spreading yourself too thin. That's what it is. That's part of what is so fucking tiring at this point, because it's like your life is just used to being spread too thin all the fucking time for some reason, right? And you don't know when to stop. Like, people like me don't know when to stop because we have this, like, ambition. I'm a Capricorn. I have this ambition, this drive that's just fucking natural, and that, amongst other things in my chart, that just makes me want to fucking just figure it out. So I keep on going, and I keep on fucking, you know what I'm saying, pushing. Excuse me. And, like, I feel like the day has not come yet of which you hit it, of which you nailed it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm seeing the word day around me in my environment, and I feel like today's the day where it might just fucking, you might just nail it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let me just move on to the next one, even though I feel like there's more there with that first card. Let me just breathe for a second. Okay. There's also something here with the yin card, which is, if I had only known then what I know now, I would have lived differently. I'm like wondering if I should read the book. Okay, maybe I'm gonna read the book because I'm a little tired today, so I think I'm just, that was like my channeling earlier. Oh, there is definitely a, okay, I was definitely meant to go into the book because that, I needed that sign. And let me see. Okay. I'm just going to read the book, and this is actually pretty significant too. It says, while living on Earth, if I had realized just how creative and powerful my thoughts were and their effect on another person, I would have been so much more aware of what I put out. Oh my God, I can cry because that is so big deal. When you are dreaming, your dreams affect other people, and I'm going to say, and I'm only going to put it out there in a positive way, right? Like, your dreams really do affect other people. So it's kind of like, and it might be, and it sucks because I'm going to talk about this right now for a second. You might feel like you're causing such negativity in other people's lives by not having your life figured out, which could be the fucking case in actuality, in reality, right? But then there's also that aspect of you just haven't figured it out yet, and other people are just too fucking impatient to kind of deal with what comes with it, and maybe they're just impatient with you, hence the anger, hence the frustration, hence the fighting, all that fucking jazz, because they don't want to understand that there might be a different way of living this life, you know what I'm saying? And they're just not that evolved yet to know that it does affect everybody in a really highly positive way when you do figure it out. So it's sometimes, you know, we have to go through the bullshit in order to get to the good shit, you know? And those of us that resonate with me do that shit. We're willing to go through the bullshit to figure out if there's good shit at the end of the tunnel, at the end of that rainbow, you know, so on and so forth. Now, what's coming through here is, interestingly enough, I love Morgan Freeman. He's like God. He like literally plays God all the time. So it's like him, I always said him, Morgan Freeman as God, and then Oprah as the divine feminine God, right? Like, of which could be, and I and like, not anything, not that I would wedge anything in there in terms of matchmaking, but I'm just saying, like, maybe that would have been a good matchmake, you know? You just don't know. I'm not trying to put anybody to the side, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to belittle anybody, that's not what I'm trying to say, but I'm like, that would have been interesting if it would have worked out, if that clicked, you know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of sort of semi there, if you think about what, what Oprah's man right now kind of looks like, right? It's kind of very close to it, but that's besides the point. All right, so okay, I'm gonna just continue. It says, of course I have regrets, which you guys may be feeling tired of too. It's not only rejection, it is regret, thinking that you might have fucking fucked up a lot of things along the way while trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Causing those regrets. But you might not be regretful in terms of just following what your fucking heart wants to do. You know what I'm saying? Or what your heart has wanted to do. So it's kind of like half and half a little bit. But now I also realize that these are merely opportunities to grow, which is so true. Honestly, if the people that are putting you down are just putting you down because they think that you've made mistakes. It's not, it's never a mistake. It really is opportunities to grow. And it is the soul's lesson, the soul's opportunity to learn the lessons that it needed to learn on this earth, and to like apply it going forward. You know, we don't realize that like by following our heart, we get to meet so many different people, even if we're not at like on our A game, or at our, you know, at like, you know, having figured it out. We're one. It's so funny because I'm going to just tell you something right now. The people that seem disheveled and have like I'm going to say seem disheveled on a very like loud note, could actually have it more together than people give them credit for. That's exactly what my soul wants to say. That came out so nice. So just be aware of that, you know, and also, you know, I feel like depending on your maturity level and depending on what you are being told to do through your own, you know, GPS guidance, like my whole thing is, and I'm going to call it God's Purity Service, GPS, okay? Because that just came through. So my whole thing is, you know, if you need to fight for it and stand up for it, do it. If not, it is okay to accept how somebody else thinks about what your life seemingly looks like, but you just shutting the fuck up in terms of being okay with not having to argue about it with them, because it is what it is. So it is how you see it and it is how they see it. It's both. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes the argument is not really necessary, because if you just accept that, yeah, they're seeing it in the negative way, then that's, you know, that's partially the fucking truth. You know what I'm saying? But also at the same time, take it from me, don't get too discouraged by it. It is discouraging to know somebody's perception of it, like in terms of like how it's being perceived, in terms of how maybe you're being perceived, how maybe your reputation is even being perceived. But the whole thing is, it's like one person is not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? And they're not the ones that created you. They're not the ones that are in charge of, you know, how everybody's life is being lived. So put it this way, don't have one person's opinion break you. And I have had so many people's opinions of me break me so much in my life, where because either I'm a people pleaser, either I'm a perfectionist, either I don't want to live that loud of a life, and yet it's just like super fucking loud, in terms of, you know, the quote unquote mistakes and or lessons being learned, you know. But it really did make me stronger, and I really did learn how to stand up for myself, and I literally also learned how to just keep silent along the way with all of that, because now I'm at the point where I'm like just tired. So it's kind of like, I've always been like the leave me alone type, let me just do my thing, but now I'm kind of really like, I'm tired, I'm quiet, leave me alone, like I'm not even gonna fight about it, you know. So when you reach that point, I feel like that's when you really get down to business in terms of what you're really needing to do for your life, but also what your calling is. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, okay, now you're regaining your energy back by not having to feel like you need to stand up for yourself all the time, especially with those that are just not like you. You know what I'm saying? Especially those that are not like understanding of how a unicorn fucking lives their life, because they might not have accepted the unicorn within themselves. You know what I'm saying? And actually might even hate on you because you've accepted your unicorn life, and they kind of could not have, or they haven't yet, you know. Oh, what I was talking about Morgan Freeman is Morgan Freeman fucking lived 50 years on this earth before he got recognized as before he got, I guess, like, either recognized or got, revealed as a, you know, reputable and respectable actor. or before, I'm going to just say before he started making, you know, regular money off of acting, you know. And I was reading an article that popped up into my world about his life today, and it was so interesting. I might just talk about it in a little bit because I do want to finish reading this, and Spirit's telling me to not talk about it right now. But there's something there with Morgan Freeman today that I'm going to touch upon. But what the main point of why I touched upon him is that Morgan Freeman is like a fucking unicorn. He's like a god unicorn, and at like in his 50s, bro, I don't know what the fuck I would be doing that long. I don't know if I honestly don't think I can handle it up. And like, if somebody told me like, oh, it'll be like, which, whatever, that you're gonna figure it out like when you're in your 50s or whatever, I literally would fucking cry. I honestly would, just because I'm like, oh, what do I do until then? What do I do? And so maybe that's the question of the day. What do you do right now up until your unicorn-esque skill set or mindset, or just you being you is quote unquote discovered? Even though it's so funny because like I feel like a lot of unicorns, like, you might not want to be a fucking actor. You might not even want to be in your in the limelight. You might not ever have even thought of fame, but and you might not even want fame. But the whole thing is, you just want your fucking bills getting paid on a regular note. Like, that's what would be the unicorn status. Absolutely, in my world at this point, because there's just been so much change and so much to like learn and earth school to fucking go through. I mean, it's just been a lot. So whatever. So there's something here that we're spreading ourselves way too thin, but there's a creativity in that, right? We're highly creative. So when people say, oh, you're spreading yourself way too thin, it could just mean that you're being fucking ADD creative, you know, and that's just who you are as a unicorn, and that's just maybe who you need to be, and maybe that's preventing you from even getting a position, a traditional position. So you need something that's kind of what is it called? I was gonna say semi-hyper, but semi-traditional, transitional. You might need a transitional position where it's like, it's traditional, but it's also, you know, future-esque, so it's transitional. That has always been my style. I feel like that's always how it's going to be, so I don't know, you know, when that's going to be okay for it to kick in, but it's kind of like a hybrid is what I want to say, hybrid. You're like a hybrid, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like today's the future, today's Friday, which is future children, and creativity, and the color is orange. So the unicorn coming up is a big deal. That is your midway happy way today. Just be a little bit more freer today. You know what I'm saying? Be a little bit more laxed in terms of, you know, not beating yourself up about the fact that you're not who your parents wanted you to be. You're not who you wanted you to be. You're just different. You're just fucking different. I don't know how else to say it. I'm going to move on to the next card, even though I feel like maybe I'll read the book, but whatever. Like I said, we're ADD. I'm just like rolling with it. It says the Yang card, which is probably for tomorrow or going into tomorrow. It says, I have become one of your guides. And here I feel as though there's something, okay, super interesting. There's something being healed. I'm feeling or sensing. I'm just going to say sensing. I'm sensing Archangel Raphael being here, where somebody is being healed, but also it's very interesting since the moon is in Scorpio, there's one person I feel that is in the darkness, or is in the mud, right? Is like the lotus in the mud, like they can't like see it. Or maybe the lotus in the mud is now blooming and blossoming and reaching for the surface of the water, right? So there's just some sort of protruding, blooming, that type of thing, reaching, right? Also, could have a lot to do with orchids. But there's some person that I want to say is like at a lower gratitude level, like maybe just is at a lower, do I want to say stature in life, like in terms of like, oh, you know, they might just be like a quote unquote commoner, you know what I'm saying? But then there's this other hand of the unknown, right? Reaching down to kind of save them or to help them or to assist them or to guide them, right? Guide is a key word here because obviously it says, I've become one of your guides. So, you know, there's somebody from the light side of things is really coming to help somebody of a good hearted and good charactered person that is just kind of unable to save themselves in the darkness of where they are. So that's why I mentioned the Scorpio vibes, because it's kind of like the underworld. Like, it's like they say, like Scorpio and Pluto, I think they both rule the underworld. So it's kind of like a person might be in the underworld right now, which is our world, right? And like, but not even our world, I'm saying like the bottom of our world, which is like literally. And I was thinking to myself, do I talk about it? Okay. Today I was thinking about how it could be, it's so interesting because you can literally be living in a home and in society, but you can really be living at a very low leveled aspect of life, which is like poorism, right? But it's so, the whole thing is, it's like, it's really kind of wild how that can be when really, if you say, like, if somebody told me they had a house, you would never think, oh, they don't have the funds. You know what I'm saying? But really, it's true when you have, it can happen where you can be living under a roof and you have no funds, right? Like, that's just like, it's just wild. So you could like be poor, but also living under a roof. So when I'm talking the bottom, it's like the fucking, God forbid, but that's what I see right now. It's kind of like the fish sucker. Hold on one second. Let me close the door. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I have to keep the door a little open, slightly open, because I love me some AC, and where I'm located right now, it's like or the best possible area right now. It doesn't really have the craziest pumping of AC. So I have to leave the door open a little bit to even out the air in the space. But anyhow, so what I was talking about is like, you could literally be like in this fishbowl of life. Like, you could literally be seemingly doing okay, right, from the outside looking in, but really you kind of are what is it called in the fish tank, keeping the fish tank clean. I think it's called I don't know why I wanted to say all these words: plumber, sucker, bottom plucker. I don't know what the fuck it was, but basically I don't know what it is. It's like, it's not coming to it. Bottom sucker, bottom feeder, yeah. So you could be like this bottom feeder at the base of the world, where it's just like, bro, you know, like, I never imagined this for myself, but this is like where it's at right now. And you are basically doing, like, you're feeding yourself through the cleaning of other fucking people, if that makes any sense, right? So it's wild. So hence maybe a cleaner, you know what I'm saying? You might be a cleaner in this life. You might be like a Cinderella, you know? So it's just fucking phenomenal, honestly. I'm going back to this yin card, and I'm going to continue reading this thing. It says, I'm going to continue reading from the book. It says, but now I also realize that these were merely opportunities to grow. Okay, we read that part. We never stop learning here on earth. Oh, sorry. We never stop learning here or on earth, which is heaven, right? When they say here. Okay, it says, my deepest wish is that from my words you learn to treat another person as you would yourself. That is so fucking true. That's what you call self-love. Amen. And self-love is the name of the game today for sure. I'm also saying treat in terms of it's a treat for yourself if you do so. And it's wild because I did that before I got on here. So that's crazy that that says that. It says, let go of the old earthly patterns of judgment and fear and make an effort. Effort is a key word today. Effort, it's like you just want to put effort into your life. Whatever the fuck it is. Just put a little, putt effort into it, To bring love to everything and everyone, but especially you, I'm going to insert there. And then also to bring love to everything and everyone who walks upon your path. That way, when you come here to heaven, you will have no room for regrets, I promise. Now, when they say that in terms of that way, where it says, that way when you come here, I'm going to jump over to this Yang card where a person is pulling you towards them. So that is the here we're talking about. So that you will have no room for regrets, I promise. So basically, it's like, just do you to the maximum fullest of which you know how to do well. And this way, you literally, when you transition from one level to another level, there will be no regrets because you would have lived a life with no stones, no stones left unturned, right? On your path to where you're going to be heading for, your maximum amount of success. Now, I'm not all about success, but I'm definitely more so about success lately in terms of calling it in, because the failures have been really fucking loud. And at this point, I'm like, listen, if it's just going to take success for me to fucking get my bills paid, regularly, then God bless, I'm calling in success, right? Like, that's just what it is. Like, I cannot, pretend or try to be ever more humble than I can be at this point, you know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that it's really, again, it's not helping yourself and it's not helping other people around you. So if you just accept your success in terms of the little things that you do in this life as you do them with a whole lot of care, that is success in and of itself. But also, it's a great way to see how other people treat you when they are gifted that. And this makes you kind of discern who is able to come with you to the next book of your life, and not just the next chapter, but the next book, to see who is deserving of it and who actually gets to be there. You know what I'm saying? So again, living your life with no regrets. Like, this is just basically a time to where you are not being tested, but yes, tested, but also you are essentially testing others to see where they stand with you and what their real deal is. Are they the grateful ones? You know what I'm saying? Because my whole thing is, the way to declutter life is, if people are just ungrateful for who you are and what you do for them and what you bring to the table skill-wise and skill set-wise, they're not allowed in your next, that's where the boundary kind of is put up. They're not allowed in your next book. They're not, because of the fact that they couldn't even handle you on a minor scale. So imagine if you come into some sort of, pure love, pure bliss, pure money, pure joy, pure success, anything of that sort, genuinely so, right? They don't deserve it because they don't know how to handle just the regular stuff that is meaningful. You know what I'm saying? And so, for somebody to think that they can handle the bigger stuff that, they can handle it because they now see it, but really it wasn't there, it was invisible, to them while you were invisible to them, essentially, sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And now all of a sudden it's visible and they can handle or they think they can handle it because it's visible. It's like, That is not who you want to have around you in your lifetime. I guarantee you, that's not who you want. You know, and if anything, I don't know, do I mention it? Okay. Yeah, Spirit wants me to mention it because I'm going to just say, not to get too dark, but it's a Scorpio moon. Let me get a little dark. I'm just going to say it just to keep it in mind, because not only do you not want these people, like, because I want to drill it into you. I want to drill it home in terms of how devastating it can be if you accept that into your life in the new book era, okay? So my whole thing is, and that can happen with money, PS, and that can happen with vibes, PS, right? And what it comes to mind is Selena, right? Selena was such a light, and she was a light before she got famous. So that's what kind of helped her get famous, right? But then also when she got famous, I think she was so much of a light and so much of a purity of sorts that I don't think she thought that protection was such an important thing, right? Self-love is self-protection. Self-protection is self-love, both, right? And long story short, like, she let somebody around her that wasn't happy for her, and that also when it came to money, she saw money and she thought she knew, she thought she could help in terms of managing it, but really she didn't know what the fuck she was doing. And then I guess maybe, I don't know what the whole story was, I'm not going to get into it, but she don't want to be revealed or whatever, or like whatever, maybe she didn't, both. Like, I think, you know, whatever, when it comes to money and love, I think the person that she let into her life, without questioning her and without questioning her treatment of all things and all ways and things like that, like analyzing, right? Analyzing the person a little bit, you know, or feeling into the person a little bit, or, you know, that type of thing. Like, to me, I feel like Selena was a Cinderella story that went wrong. You know what I'm saying? She was a Cinderella in her own way, who was the light when she didn't have money. She came into money, and then she allowed the people that were not appreciative of her or the light or the money, right, that was coming their way into her life. And then she ended up losing her life because this person was just so passionate about whatever, getting their own way and things like that. Now, to me, if that bitch is fucking rolling around and if she sees this fucking video, all I'm saying is, because anything can happen, right? The whole thing is, I would have taken my life after that, but my whole thing is, this world is very interesting because people like that don't take their own fucking life. You know what I'm saying? Normally they don't, and I don't wish her to do that. But my whole thing is, I don't understand how a person like that can be roaming around this earth while a person who had such life and love and gratitude and laughter and joy and really purity, you know what I'm saying, within herself, was trashed, right? Like, was just literally like taken out in one fell swoop, you know what I'm saying? And to me, that's what's so fucked, because, and to me, I really do see that story as a huge learning lesson, you know what I'm saying, here on earth, where I refuse for people to, you know, if you end up seeing me differently because I have money, that's your fucking problem, you know what I'm saying, not my problem, and nor my vicinity that you'll be in, you know. So when I say this is your time to figure out the tests, I think that's kind of what I mentioned before. This is your time to sift and to declutter your life and really observe how another person's life is lived, so that you know for damn skippy, damn straightness, that this person can handle your next chapter if you're heading on into the even more light and even more, you know, whatever it is, fame or fortune, or, you know, whatever the future holds in a positive way, you know what I'm saying? will they muddle that shit up, or muddy that shit up? I don't think muddle is a word. I don't know. Will they muddy that shit up, and or will they help you enhance it genuinely? So not just telling you, oh yeah, you know, or like you know, relying on our, you know, what society or culture says. Like, it's not really our culture. I'm going to say maybe American culture, but whatever. It could be culture all around, where people say humanity culture, right? Human culture. Where people are like, oh, you know, family means a lot. It's like, there's been so many stories where family fucks you over, dude. It's like, you cannot even, because family is not a unit. Family is made up of members, of humans, and humans are imperfect, and humans also are free enough to figure out how they want to live, and how they get to live, in a sense, right? So some people, they outgrow, or they might still even be living with their parents. Like, it doesn't matter. You know, people are choosing how they want to live their life every fucking day. And if it's in a negative way, that's still a choice. And we're all affected by it, right? So again, the unicorns try to make the choices that we're affected by in a positive way, and that means the person of which is the unicorn, along with the people surrounding them. You know what I'm saying? Because it is exuded, you know? And that to me is enough at this point. That to me is a whole bunch of enoughness, because the unicorns have been through a lot. They will continue to keep going through a lot. And my whole thing is, thank God they're ever so protected if they are willing to put the effort towards keeping themselves protected, along with their energy, along with their, you know, energy first and foremost, and then everything else, right? And so, yeah, so that's basically how you're going to be able to, you know, reach out to those that are genuinely willing to help you from, you know, higher places, or more advanced places, because of the fact that today, if you put forth effort in putting in boundaries with the people that really kind of don't know how to treat their things, don't know how to treat you, don't know how to treat themselves in a self-loving way, it's like, we're done with that story, dude. We're done with it. We try, you know, I feel like the unicorns have tried so many different ways to give them, you know, to give others belief in themselves when they too were working on their own self-belief. And now it's kind of like, we're tired, and we don't want to keep repeating these patterns, of which will almost never work anymore, or no longer work. They never worked in the first place. They never were picked up in the first place. They won't work in the future. And with that being said, it's like the unicorns are not, they're not going to wait around for people to grow into that type of belief any longer, you know? To me, it's just honestly phenomenal. It really is. It's like, it's so oddly phenomenal, that people just won't side with clean, you know, clean water, clean ethics, clean, you know, believing, clean joy, clean, you know, and we'll do anything and everything in their power to take down the people of the light, or the people of the unicorn status, you know, and we'll just like literally be okay with them not being as happy as they possibly can. You know what I'm saying? And that's not okay with me. I can tell you that right now, because it makes no sense. It makes no sense when you would be okay to do that to somebody else, who would never be okay with doing that to that other person who's bringing down the house, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just keep in mind that things are temporary. It's okay if things stay the same. It's okay if things get worse. It's okay if, you know, it's plenty okay when things get better, you know what I'm saying? But just make sure that you're able to just do all that you intuitively can to kind of alleviate what you need to do in your life to better process things, to better what is it called? When I say process, I mean it both in a physical way, you know what I'm saying? Like, make a process in your life where it's like habitual and ritual, but also process things in terms of just like, you know, process the lessons learned, process, you know, what you think, you know, heaven on earth is. I really do feel, that many of us are unicorns, are going to begin to hop on in to a heaven on earth type of lifestyle now. It's like there's nothing more to it than there could be. I feel like that's the only thing that's left. I feel is like just to basically hop into that world and just live the way that we need to kind of live at this point, because there's nothing else going on here down on the baseline other than, you know, sheer gratitude. You know what I'm saying? Because, and also, and not only that there's nothing else more here, but more so you've learned all that you could learn on the baseline, on the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? And now there's only like leveling up. So my whole thing is be very smart, be very tactful, be very strategic about who you decide to take with you to the next level, but also don't say a damn thing when the next level happens, right? Like, keep it supremely and superbly pure as best as possible. And also on a Scorpio, you know, moon in Scorpio, no, don't say shit. Like, keep it very quiet. You know, Scorpios don't fucking say shit. And that's a beautiful thing. So when it happens, just, you know, keep it moving normally. Don't go cray, and, you know, and just accept it into your life and, you know, move on. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Just like in Cinderella, like, what was it? There was one of the Cinderella movies where it's like, towards the end, like, what does Cinderella do? She says to the stepmother, like, she says something like, thank you so much, or something like that. She like really keeps her cool and just fucking walks out the door. Like, that's it. Like, that's all she does. You know what I'm saying? And then the mother is like, you know, flabbergasted, but like, you know, she fucking leaves and she goes to live her own fucking life. You know what I'm saying? So that's really kind of what it comes down to. And, you know, and that's what I'm saying. Like, don't say, you know, of course we all want to have that one person that we can celebrate good things with. But sometimes when you're not around that good person or good people, or, you know, or that person of which is yours in terms of like romantic interests, like that you can actually share good things with and they'd be happy for you. You know, we just have to kind of just say thank you and share it with spirit, share it with, you know, our guidance team, you know, and really just, wow, thank you so much. And that's it. And move on. You know, of course we want to like share everything possible on social media, all the good stuff that goes on, all the cute stuff that goes on, all the like really things that make you giggle and shit. But the whole thing is, it's like the reality of it is like people are just not happy for others that, you know, that are really trying to do well in this life. You know what I'm saying? And that starts again coming back around with they're impatient with us, and it's sad to say that, but at the same time, that leads to, you know, I don't know. The impatience leads to unhappiness, or like not accepting of another person, and it just sucks because everybody can have the happiness if they were to just, you know, be happy for one another. That's why I will always be happy for other people. I don't give a shit. But my whole thing is, it's like, if I don't receive that reciprocation at all, like in my lifetime from certain people that you would think that you would get it from, and that it wouldn't take any kind of effort, you know, for you to receive it from, then that's a big fucking problem. And that is such a big problem that you're not coming to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where the boundary is. Like, damn, like, you really couldn't fucking put two and two together of which is common sense, and then, you know, and are expecting that you're, oh, just because like you think somebody has the bottom line idea of like, oh, we're family, oh, we're, you know, blood relative, like, get the fuck out of here. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you must be out of your mind if you're really thinking that that's all that one person, the advanced person, is going to fucking rely on in terms of allowing you to come with them. No, that's really, that's a ridiculous mindset. And if you're playing that card, if somebody ever plays that card with you, the automatic answer should be no. Automatic. So anyhow, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I think this is where I'm going to stop. Let me just feel it out. Give me 1 second. I'm getting yes, stop here. So thanks for joining in. Again, these may or may not be saved on Instagram, but will, however, be saved on YouTube, because I need everybody to start going to YouTube and fucking helping me monetize my life, bitch. Amen. And that's where I'm gonna just end up saving these lives. So, in the same. So, thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for stopping in. Thank you guys for also viewing this on YouTube. I appreciate it. It's also the Illuminated Muse on YouTube. So, yeah, we'll talk. So have a great day today. It is now 1:58. So yeah, so I'm gonna post this in a little bit. You guys will have it in due time come 3 p.m. onward into tomorrow's 3 p.m. So we're gonna make it like a wave, bitch. Wave, bitch. Waving at you, bitch. I'm so excited. Also, emotional waves, bitch. Emotions. Waves, bitch. Emotional waves, bitch. I'm so excited. Alright, so anyhow, that's how we're going to start doing things from now on a little bit, you know? Anyhow, have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!